Sharky,
That's
look,
what he's.
a shiny stripe protector. I'm a catcher.
This is an interesting conversation, to say the least.
Oh,
Alright. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the whatevereth episode of the Colossal Kaiju Fan Podcast. Today, I am your host, SharkBuzz117, and joining me is Mr. Hungry Zombie.
Yo.
And, additionally, Mr. Spotted Alien is not here today, because he's very busy, as well as Burkian. So, today, we also have with us Mr. Stripe Protector.
hey guys.
Making a triumphant return, I'm sure. So, yeah, there's really nothing to discuss housekeeping-wise. Make sure you buy the CKC comic. But, other than that, really, we can just kind of jump into our discussion today, because we don't have really anything else discussed, is there? You guys think?
No.
Just
Nah.
two characters.
Yeah, just the two characters. Alright. Well then, yeah, let's get started. So, our first kaiju to discuss today, gentlemen, is Bunagi.
Bunagi.
Design-wise, he's this interesting kind of disparity of light and dark, because he's mostly like a dark brown or black.
I thought it was gray, really.
He could be, I could see him as a dark gray too, like a pachyderm.
Yes, like a rhinoceros.
Yeah. And, but with white markings on him. Like tribal markings. I mean, color-wise, and then there's also like the bones of his claws and tusks and teeth and whatnot. I think it works fine, color-wise, but design-wise, he's just kind of okay to me. Like, nothing about him hugely jumps out. His tusks look kind of cool, but as a whole, he looks kind of just to me.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But in a way, it's still a pretty good design.
He's definitely not a bad design at all. He's probably not my just design wise. He's probably not my favorite.
Yeah.
He's definitely like when I think of kaiju from CKC, he is not in like the top 10 that I would think of first. To put it in a way. Zombie, what do you think?
Well, I personally am a big fan of his head design because it kind of reminds me of an elephant skull.
Yeah, that is really cool. It's even got the giant gaping nose hole.
Yeah, the nose hole, the tusks, the small shape of the skull.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it looks
really
pretty
goes well with him. Really kind of intimidating. That thick rhinoceros hide.
Mm-hmm.
He's a creature you can definitely tell was from Africa.
Yeah, he is a very African design in a very good way. So, that's nice. I think that's really all we have to say about his design. I have the feeling that this is going to be a relatively short episode. Predictions now. Short episode for Smash confirmed.
Episode 2 big, Sakurai
Excuse me.
confirmed.
Yeah, 7.8 out of 10, too many kaiju. But yeah, let's move on to his backstory. Pretty straightforward. He was a guardian in Africa, Central Africa. He could change size, but after a while the guardians just kind of disappeared, and nobody really knew why. But then out of nowhere, he just showed up again and has been kind of wandering around. Nobody really knows what he's doing.
Yeah, like if a threat appears, he'll take care of it though, because deep down he still knows his guardian roots.
It seems that way. That's really all there is to his backstory, so it's nothing particularly... It's no Shakespearean play, like some of the other kaiju we have on this...
It's short and to the point.
Yeah, it gets the job done. It's very, I could see
Straightforward.
this in, like, a B-movie from the 50s. Easily.
50s B movie, huh?
I mean...
Attack of the Bunagi.
Terror from Central Africa, or something like that. But, yeah. Energy-wise, he has stamina, which is just,
Builds it over time.
yeah, it just builds over time. But he can also regain energy from sonic events, because he has a very big emphasis on sound-based attacks. And, the example given on the wiki states that his Echo Crush can either be a powerful melee boost or reabsorbed as energy, which is interesting. So
spends energy to get more energy.
I would imagine I mean, that's the kind of thing that you really only know how that works once it's in the game. I imagine he gets more than he puts in, like it's a net profit. But I don't know. It's a bit brief on the wording here. Could be a bit more in depth, I say. But whatever. So energy system wise, he's pretty basic. Aside from that, in range combat, he can create sonic events from long range or short range, mid range, which prevents it disorients foes, and that prevents them from using their own ranged attacks.
He uses sound as a weapon.
Yeah.
Wub, wub, wub. Wub, 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 wub.
Yeah. Additionally, he can shoot just straight up a beam of sound from his throat. So he basically has a bass cannon attached to the back of his head.
So he just screams.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me think of Anguirus from the Godzilla games.
Yeah.
With his sonic roar.
Yeah. It also states, one thing I do like about the sonic attack, the beam, is that it does more damage over time, so that's really cool. I like the idea of exponential growth in attacks and the damage they do. That's a really interesting concept, I think. I like it a lot. Otherwise, additionally, he can just kind of flow sound through the earth or the air, and that will allow him to hit multiple opponents at a time. So it's a nice area of effect attack, from what I'm reading. But that's his melee game. He's a bit of a mix between melee and ranged combat as a character. He alternates between the two, from what I understand, when it's, appropriate.
Yeah. Like if he stuns an opponent with a sonic attack and go in for a close range punch or two.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Or he can knock down a foe from the air using his sonic events or his sonic waves, and then he can go up and do a haymaker once they land or something.
Yeah.
Do a ground slam or something. So I feel like maybe a very combo heavy character here.
Ultra combo.
Yeah. In regards to grappling, he can, but he doesn't really like to unless his opponents can't fight back. That's his style. He's honestly, I think he should be considered more control combat style than melee range, because it seems he's all about making sure his opponent can't fight back, which to me qualifies as control. I don't know what you guys
Kicking them while they're down.
Yeah, that kind of situation. But so he's okay at grappling. He's nothing special, but he's not bad at all. So not much to report there. And then the melee combat, I mean, he's really big and buff, so he's fairly capable there. He can also magnify his attacks with an echo, which is pretty cool. I imagine that increases damage output, just logically. He's also pretty resistant to impact damage, it would seem.
Well, yeah, I mean, he is built like a rhinoceros.
So, not easy to hurt him too much. He seems like a really well-rounded character, with plenty of nuances to make him a bit more interesting for more experienced and skilled players. However, all of this kind of falls apart if he fights somebody who ignores sonic damage. Somebody who's just soundproof. And additionally, he's a bit slow, so a quick character like Duncan or Katyusha just can completely anticipate his attacks and dodge them and wreck him in response.
So basically, he's like the Mario of CKC.
I don't know if I would go so far, because he's a bit more specialized. I honestly don't feel like CKC has its own Mario, really.
I'm not talking about I'm just talking about combat-wise. He's an average character that can be used by...
that's what I mean too. I feel like there's no character that's truly just run-of-the-mill like that. I mean, there's a couple characters, yes, that anyone can pick up and understand, but I feel like every character is very complex in its own way. That's just me personally. I would hope that's the goal in character creation here, because that guarantees interesting characters no matter what, and it gives everyone a relatively fair chance at being considered for a game. Just my thought. Those are my 2 cents. Striped, any final thoughts on Binagi?
Not really, other than I like him because he's not the worst, he's not the best neither, but he's right in the middle, so
He's
I think.
a really good middle of the road kaiju, I think.
Yeah.
But on that note, I suppose there's not much else we have to say about him, so we'll move on. Next kaiju, Stalagon. I really, really adore Talagon. Actually, I think Talagon is one of my favorite kaiju in the game. That isn't in the game, I should say. He's this giant spiky lizard, and he's got the Gigan mandible beak thing going on, but it looks great because it's all bone. But the thing that's really great about Talagon to me is it goes to his energy style and to his origin, where he alternates between two forms, one where he's just a normal spiky lizard, and another where he grows wings of pure energy and flies around and shoots lasers, which affects his gameplay. And I think that that's super awesome. I love Talagon. I love everything about him. So, that's just me. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of Talagon. I don't hate him, it's just that whenever I think of a KCK monster, he's usually not the first guy I think of.
I mean, that's fair. I suppose he is, at the end of the day, just a big spiky lizard, which doesn't go...
That's kind of how I see him, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'm sort of with Zombie, but I don't think he's the worst. I like his design. I like the whole thing with the energy wings.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and the looks pretty good too.
And I really like Talagon. There's so much about him that I think is really, really cool. He's a poppin' kaiju is what he is.
Poppin'?
Yeah.
Really?
He's making his way downtown. I don't know where I'm going with this. But yeah, there's not too much to say about his backstory or his design really that we haven't said already, so we can kind of just move on to his backstory. But basically, meteorite lands in Saudi Arabia. Some students pick it up. They find an egg in it for whatever reason. It hatches. A spiny lizard comes out and they baby it for a little while. But after a while, it leaves them because it gets big and it's glowing with energy. So it turns into a giant kaiju and flies away.
That's story of my life.
Basically, all there is to it. He's like Gamera without the children.
Wait, can we pause for a second? Something messed up with my headset, and when you were talking, Sharky, everything went quiet for a bit.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Like, you didn't hear me saying, "Oh, we need to pause."
No, I didn't
at all, did
say
you?
that.
Okay, then that's fine. Okay, cut this out, please.
That's
okay, just continue.
But yeah, he's basically Gamera without the children. Continue. There's nothing else to say? Alright. His energy system, which I alluded to, is that it rises and falls in a predictable fashion, and it has nothing to do with what's going on outside him. So while it builds, he's just kind of on the ground, and he's just a lizarding it up. And when it gets full, and when it begins to decrease, he grows his energy wings, and he flies above the ground. And then once he runs out of energy, the cycle continues.
It's the circle of energy.
Yeah. While he's on the ground, he's a melee combatant, and then while he's flying, he's a ranged combatant. So I don't think I'm going to talk about them too much individually. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah, because more energy, more power.
Yeah.
And when he's in his terrestrial form, he has absolutely no ability to make energy or to like project it in a beam or anything. So when he's in his powered form, it changes such that he shoots like hyper beams of energy from his jaws, and he can make explosive spheres from his wings that he can throw around. So he becomes a total ranged combatant.
Yeah.
And when he's in
when he's on the ground, he doesn't have anything to rely on other than his claws and teeth and whatnot.
Yeah, and he has a lot of spikes and whatnot, and a long tail. He's a pretty quick fighter, and he's got a pretty good defenses, considering the armor and the spikes all over him. But
so he has his speed and armor to help him out. Okay.
Once he's powered up, though, it gets a lot more limited because his wings make it difficult for him to do anything effectively. So all he really can use is his tail, and additionally, he has basically no way to do blunt or impact damage. Like he does almost entirely edged damage, which can be a huge downside against a character with a resistance to edged damage. And finally, like in grappling, he is good at grappling, and he can do it effectively, presumably in any stage. It doesn't say specifically if he's veteran on one stage and the other. He's small though, because compared to most kaiju, he's only
could be panhandled by a lot of other guys.
Yeah, he's only 81 meters tall, so it can be a bit of a downside as well, because he can get grappled pretty easily. The only thing he can do to help him out with that is his spikes, which I presume can be helped to break free of grapples.
Yeah. Sort of like, again, okay, I know I already did this once, but like going back to the Godzilla game, sort of like in Gears when you do the block and he turns around when the kaiju goes to grapple him and they grab his spikes and they do the animation where they act like their hands are hurt.
Yeah. That'd be great. I hope that makes a comeback in Talagon. That'd be amazing. Simon Strange, I'm looking at you. Bring it back.
Oh yeah. Also, another thing, just to go back a bit, there's no real way to be cheap while flying, is there?
No, because you run out of energy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Once you run out of energy in the powered up form, you end up in terrestrial form, which is great.
So it's just like a whole circle of fairness.
Yeah, it's interesting in that it seems like CKC is not going to have any metamorphal kaiju like Mothra and Batra were in the PlayStation games. So it's good to see something similar to that, since it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to do it properly. For whatever reasons. I think it's engine difficulties or something like that. I don't know. Simon can elaborate. But yeah, that's really all there is to say about Talagon, unless you guys have any final thoughts.
Did we go over weaknesses?
Yeah, I mean, his primary weaknesses being that you can predict his energy shifts.
Energy fluctuations, yeah.
And
plan with prior things being said, okay. Because I thought, like, normally we just go over the stuff in order and then...
Yeah,
okay.
Talagon is weird, so we kind of did him in a weird order, I suppose.
So yeah. So we already covered that while it's talking about other things. Okay, that works.
And on that note, we're done there, I guess. Alright, guys. Normally, this is the part of the podcast where we have a top 5. But I'm not going to lie to you. We totally forgot to do a top 5. And we kind of tried to pull one out, but it wasn't turning out the way... It was really impromptu, so we're just kind of like...
Yeah, we kind of spaced out on that one, ladies and gents.
So we're just kind of like...
To be fair, like, we were going to do giant robots, but we couldn't really decide who should be in what spot, and we're just like, whatever, we'll do it next time.
Another day we'll have a giant robot top 5. And this is also the part of the podcast where we would usually look at the mailbag, but it's empty, so nothing to say.
Send mail.
Send mail, yeah, we'll read it. And lastly, housekeeping, there really is none to report at the moment. Podcast is just kind of, I mean, it's the middle of spring, which is a really hectic time for everybody, actually, so these podcasts are probably going to come out a bit, like, far apart. I mean, more so than usual, because these things come out pretty slowly. But, yeah.
Doing what you can when you can.
Basically. So, on that note, that's really everything I have to say, so I have been Sharky. I've been Shocky.
I've been Sharked.